Welcome to Follow the Content Leaders, a podcast where we want to learn how leaders, entrepreneurs, CEOs, coaches, and consultants have built their businesses and exactly what role has content played in their strategies. Good morning. Yeah, we are now live with Matt Rebeiro. Thank you for joining us. I hope I pronounced your name properly there. We are here in a new episode of Follow the Content Leaders. I'm super happy we are starting the new season of this podcast, so I'm very excited for this. Tell us a bit about yourself, Matt. Who are you? I know you're a strategic advisor for startups, but tell us a bit more into detail as to what do you help startups with and what has brought you to what you do today.
Great question. So what do I help startups with? I like to focus a lot on SaaS companies, which is software as a service.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, they're tech companies who have built software, and the software could be in any particular sector industry. So I don't help out one more than others. The nature of the advisory work that I provide, advisory meaning I give advice to founders. They might call themselves a founder or a CEO or a CTO, et cetera. But the help I provide them is first and foremost with their product and how it's designed. Good products create good user experiences. So a good product is a product where you go into it and whatever problem it's supposed to be solving, whatever pain point it's supposed to be addressing, intuitively, you enter into that experience with the product as a user, as a consumer, as a client, and you immediately know it's going to solve this for me right now, right? So the design in the tech world, we would call it the user interface, the UI, and the UX, the user experience, is created in a way that it becomes very obvious what problem it solves and how it solves it. The design is intuitive. And when it's not, which many cases, companies, they've got great products and there's just a few things they're missing. And with a little bit of adjustments, a little bit of tweaks, sometimes it's changing the layout, the language of their apps, how many buttons there are. Often too many buttons in the wrong places and language is not clear. Sometimes they have a vision that's up here, but their vision isn't being translated into their marketing material that tells people who they are and what they do. So the founder goes, I know who I am and I know what I do with my software. And then we look at their marketing material and they go, I didn't realize that people aren't getting what's up here when they read that. Right. And you are in the world of copywriting. So you know firsthand what that means when someone goes, I solved this problem. You're like, you say that you're selling hot dogs, but your marketing says you're selling salad. They're not even close. Right. You go, I didn't even realize that. So oftentimes marketing becomes an afterthought. Product marketing becomes an afterthought. They get absorbed in the coolness factor. Coolness factor. I built this really cool thing. These are all the bells and whistles and buttons and capabilities and features. You go, yeah, but nobody knows that because a lot of this stuff is hidden 17 clicks into your tool and they can't get there. But I've got this great documentation. Right. Where's the documentation? Also buried. And as we all know, most people don't read instructions very often.
Absolutely,
right? Go to the famous furniture store and there's all these jokes about it. You buy a table, it goes, just follow these steps. Someone tries to assemble the table. The legs are in all the wrong place. What happened? Wow, this thing won't go together. Did you follow the instructions? Well, no, it's a table. It's supposed to be easy. There's a top and there's 4 legs. Why would I need to follow instructions? And a lot of people in software, they have the same expectations, surprisingly, because they're people. They want simple, right? And so someone goes, did you follow the instructions? Like, of course not. Why would I need instructions? Why did you make it so complicated for me?
Absolutely.
And so I help make it easy, make it simple. When someone comes to your website, do they immediately know what problem you solve, who you solve it for, and how your solution solves the problem? If the answer is no, that's where we start.
Exactly the same principle as with anything you do in marketing, right? Whenever I review a LinkedIn profile of a client, that's exactly what I'm trying to accomplish, for someone to figure out in a 5-second span just by taking a look at your profile banner and your headline, what you do, who you do it for, and how you do it. Exact the
Exactly,
same
the
principle.
fundamentals, right? And so that transfers right into the design of software.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we get that nailed down, then we often will go into the actual software itself and start changing the design, adding features, reorganizing their product roadmap. So the things that software does,
Mm-hmm.
many companies won't have a roadmap, or they'll have a roadmap up here, but it's not written
Mm-hmm.
down. They don't realize that's a problem. But if you're a company of more than one person, you really should have it written down so you can make
Probably.
sure that the other members of your team are on the same page, literally, that you're on. They see the
Mm-hmm.
same things. They're aligned on the priority of what needs to be built next, and
Mm-hmm.
when and why, and how it helps to strengthen the product offering. And then right down to what many advisors won't do that I do is I'll help with the design of the actual features themselves.
Okay.
So companies say, okay, well, I'm going to build this next. What's your core product? What problem are you solving? So they might say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, well, I got this new AI tool. Oh, I said AI. Everyone's got an AI tool. I've got this new AI tool, and let's say it helps plan out your meals for the week. Take a really
Mm-hmm.
simple example. I have all these clients, customers, people I'm trying to keep track of. I think I need a CRM, a customer relationship management tool.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that at the top of my roadmap because I'm so disorganized. I'm going to build that next. Wait, hold on a second. Didn't you say you're building software that helps people with meal planning? Yeah. Why is CRM at the top of your product priority list? Because I don't have one. Okay, but why are you going to build one? Because I can. I know how to build a CRM. Right, but should you build a CRM? Or should you go and take a CRM that's already on the market,
Of
pay a
course.
small monthly fee, license it, solve your problem, and continue to focus on the problem you're solving for your clients? Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose I could do that, Matthew. But why would I just build it myself? Because I don't have to pay, $120 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you delay the development of your core product by 3 to 6 months and save yourself
Mm-hmm.
$120 a month and spend, I don't know, $30,000 to save 120 a month?
Mm-hmm.
And
I
they
mean,
look
it
at
makes
me and they
sense when
go,
you say it that way, but
exactly. They go, well, maybe, I guess maybe I shouldn't spend, the equivalent of $30,000 worth of time to save $120 a month. And it has nothing to do with the problem I'm solving for my customer. I'm like, right. That's what a good advisor does. Gives you a little bit of a shake and says, all right, wake up. You're all over
mm-hmm.
the place. Right.
Definitely, yeah, super
So
interesting. I can see that you are a great advisor, and the examples are super detailed. But how did you start doing this? Because I can see you've done it for a long time and you're very good at it. But how did it all start? Did you build your own business? Or how did you get to where you are at now?
great question. So I worked for big businesses for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I helped them solve challenges within their businesses for a very long time. And it went from one specific area in a business to all the different departments, because many companies are built in functional areas. So like human
Mm-hmm.
resource is a functional area, operations, marketing, product, technology. And so what I had an affinity for, what I liked to do, was follow a customer's journey through those
Mm-hmm.
functional areas. So from a customer's perspective, they say, I have a problem. The customer doesn't think about, nor should they, okay, my problem starts in this department behind the walls of the company. And then
Mm-hmm.
this person hands off to this person, to this person, that person. And each person goes, well, I'm in product, so I'm only responsible for this.
Mm-hmm.
And the operations team goes, well, I'm in operations, so this is the start and the end of the scope of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
See what starts to happen? You throw the customer over the digital fence, so to speak. And the
Mm-hmm.
customer's going, why is it so hard to solve my problem? I don't understand. Why is this taking so long? Why can't you do it? And then the person they speak to, email or phone support says, oh, well, I can't do this. It's this department's part now, or this department's problem or challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So the larger the company gets, the more that happens. It doesn't have to happen. So that's where I first started getting involved in the process of things, the steps that
Mm-hmm.
customers go through, the journey. And I did that for many, many years, over a decade. And then I started to really enjoy technology. I always did. But before I got into the professional career world as an adult, I found myself getting a little bit farther away from it. So
Mm-hmm.
I began doing advisory work for startups, for software companies. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized as I was doing work for the big companies, I really enjoyed doing work also for the small to mid-sized businesses as well, in particular startups, people
Mm-hmm.
who aspired to build something that was going to add, incredible value for others out there. The artists of the software world.
Mm-hmm.
And I helped out one and then another and another. And many of them said, how do we get our products, our software products, into the big companies that you've worked at or worked for in the past or worked with? And look at their products. And I said, well, you know what? Let me help you out because it's a nice thing to do. I don't mind helping people out here and there.
Mm-hmm.
As I began to help them out, I really enjoyed helping them out and they enjoyed receiving my help. And that was the start of when I formally said, okay, I'm going to be an advisor for these companies. And
Wonderful.
that's when I started my own company, call it PDI, which is short for Process Design Institute.
Mm-hmm.
And at PDI, I'm an advisor for startups in the US, in Canada, in Europe. And I help them first and foremost, to my earlier point, solve their product related challenges. And then from there,
Mm-hmm.
follow the next logical steps. But that's what got me into this space. I was working at the big companies. I started working to help the small companies get into the big companies. And then I
Mm-hmm.
realized I really enjoyed working with these smaller companies, these startups, inspired me to just start up my own practice.
Yeah, beautiful, right? How life keeps taking you from step to step, and then you kind of double down into what is it that you enjoy the most, which is a very brave choice that we have to take sometimes. So, and it looks like it's worked super well for you. So, I'm happy to hear this story.
Wonderful.
And then I'm looking a bit more to learn now about how have you built this business as an advisor for the startups, right? Once you decide to launch it officially and you get 100% invested into it, how do you land your first clients? Has content played any part in you building this company, or have you just disregarded content completely? How does that look like?
Certainly. So, how has content helped?
Mm-hmm.
People talk about content a lot, especially on social media platforms like LinkedIn. Because content's the food that fuels everything there, right? Without content,
Mm-hmm.
content is essentially a discussion, an opinion, a viewpoint, a perspective, right? It's an opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
share something in your head with others out here. And so if you're not writing down anything, there's nothing coming out of your mouth, your head, your account. People don't know who you
Mm-hmm.
are. And so with
Fair
LinkedIn,
enough.
for example, having over 1 billion users, that's 1 billion people. That's 1 billion sets of eyes and ears listening and
Mm-hmm.
reading to content. There are a lot of opinions online. There are not a lot of viewpoints, a lot of perspectives. But if you're not creating content yourself, then people don't know what your perspective is, what your
Mm-hmm.
opinion is, what side you're on in this debate, right? What's your area of
Yeah.
expertise? What's your interest? Sure, you can have some things on your LinkedIn profile about your headline and your about section, your experience. That'll give people some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But that would require people to actively find you, your
Exactly.
profile, and read it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is with social platforms, including LinkedIn, is if you're not producing content, then it's hard for people to arrive at your profile because the content is like the breadcrumb trail that leads people to your profile.
Mm-hmm.
No breadcrumbs, it's very hard to get there, right? You have to be
Exactly. Yeah.
searching typically for the average person who's not, you know, engaging with other content. When I mean engaging, I don't mean just click like a thumb up button, right? If you're
Mm-hmm.
not being a part of the conversation, they're usually
Yeah.
not in the conversation. If you're not in the conversation, no one's paying attention to you. So if someone's sharing their opinion and you just thumb up and you don't leave a comment, which is your thoughts, people don't
Mm-hmm.
see you in the massive little circles. And if you leave a
Definitely.
comment that
Yeah.
just says cool, good, that doesn't tell people who you are and what you think and your stance on that issue or that opinion or that perspective or that news. You
Mm-hmm.
actually have to add something of value. It's no different than being in person at a conference, right? So people who don't participate in content on social media, it's just like the person at the conference, they paid $1,000 a ticket to go to the conference and they're standing in the corner in the dark. I didn't
By
really meet
themselves, yeah.
anybody at the conference as the person. I didn't get any new connections. Did
Oh
you
well.
speak to anybody else? Did you stand in one of those circles of people and share your opinion and weigh in? Did you encourage people to talk about certain topics? Well, no. How are people going to know you if you don't speak up? Right? And there's different ways to speak up, whether you're typing it. Some people like to type, right? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like the new video feed on LinkedIn. They can talk and share their opinion just like we're doing today.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? Some people do both. They can type and they can talk. So there's different ways to share whatever you're more comfortable with. Some people say, I'm not comfortable with video. I don't know if I can go up there on a camera. I get nervous. I get anxious.
Fair
Fine. Start
enough.
off by typing. I don't know what to say. Okay. Well, you could always talk to someone like Monica here on the
I'm
podcast
here.
and say, this is what's in my head. And I'm all over the map. But someone like Monica can help you not be all over the map. You might
Mm-hmm.
feel like a cat in a field being herded. Try and imagine what herding cats looks like, right? You're all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But it helps to have someone who can help bring your ideas together. You might take, 30 minutes and share your opinion on 5 different things or
Mm-hmm.
talk about who you are and what you do. And then a good copywriter or a ghostwriter will say, all right, hold on a second. Let's make this
Mm-hmm.
crisper. Let's turn, this 30-minute chat into 50 pieces of content. New video content. We can do long form and short form text content. So people get to know
Yeah.
who you are and what you do. So, as long answer, does content help me? Absolutely. Has it helped me? Sure. Have I been on LinkedIn a long time? Oh, yes. Did I start creating
Mm-hmm.
content through that whole time? No. I started creating content 2023.
Okay.
I say started. I mean, it doesn't mean I don't think I've posted before then, but when did I actually start creating lots of content from my
Mm-hmm.
perspective? 2023. Have I created any content in the last, August, September period? No. But there will be some more content coming next
Good.
month in October from me. I've been sitting on the sidelines for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
not not outside of the LinkedIn scene. I've been active on LinkedIn. I just haven't been posting content for the last month, but we'll see more about that in terms of the why later.
Good. Yeah. You've talked a lot about all the options that you have as to how to create content on LinkedIn. So I'm curious, are you creating your own content? Do you have someone that helps you with that? How does that process look for you?
Certainly. So I enjoy writing myself.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy having conversations with people. Clearly, I am right now,
Good.
meeting new people. So for me personally, I am not an outlier. Or sorry,
Mm-hmm.
the inverse of that. I am an outlier with respect to most people's feelings
Mm-hmm.
around content and putting themselves out there. So I don't mind, and I have gotten on the stage and talked at a conference to 300, 400 people. I don't have a problem with
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't mind being on video and talking to you or other people, live stream, recorded, no problem. I'm not the average person though. And many people are apprehensive, even senior leaders, executives, about being in a live stream
Mm-hmm.
or a recorded video or getting up on stage in front of 300 people and speaking at a conference. And that's okay, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to like everything. You don't have to be good at everything. Everyone has their strengths. So for me, yes, I create my own content that's posted on my LinkedIn profile. Whatever's
Mm-hmm.
written comes from me. Video, haven't really done. There's been some podcasts, but I mean, not just like solo video pieces done. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, I enjoy the process. I do it myself. And
Okay.
yeah, if some people, like I said earlier, aren't comfortable with that, there's still other options. So you don't not have to participate. You can speak to someone who can
Mm-hmm.
help capture who you are and get that message out. If that's not something that you like doing or that you're comfortable doing or familiar with doing, pick one of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons why you're not sharing your thoughts. There are options out there. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing, like I do it or it doesn't get done.
Yeah, absolutely. Is how, just as the example you shared at the beginning, right? With the CRM, it's something that you know you need or that you know you want to do. Then you can kind of decide strategically if you're going to do it internally because you enjoy it and it's not something that overwhelms you or that takes you too much time, or if you prefer to take a solution that's out there and that can maybe help you streamline the process. But yeah, it's been great chatting with you. I always like to finish these interviews with one last question. That's a bit selfish because I like to consume content, but I also like to read books. So I always like to ask my guests for a book recommendation. So any book that you has specially impacted you in your life, or that you would like to recommend me and our audience, I'm happy to hear that. Okay. That's an easy one. You had it ready. You didn't even have the question for beforehand, so that's impressive.
Ray Dalio,
Mm-hmm.
The Changing World Order. This is
Okay.
his newest book. Brilliant author, investor.
Mm-hmm.
So he really understands finance and the financial markets and investments. And he does an excellent job, even for someone who's not in the industry, of explaining how to make good financial decisions, how to make good investment decisions. He talks about economics,
Mm-hmm.
and how economics plays a role in the movement of money up and down. Really, really good read. Ray Dalio.
Awesome. I'll check that out and add it to my to-do list. So thank you very much again for joining us today. It was a pleasure talking to you, Matt. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.